Hey, welcome back. This is part 11 on our critical feedback, constructive feedback uh, series. Um, I'm assuming if you're here, you've seen the other 10 videos where we break down other pieces of feedback and look for our 4 benchmarks of great feedback. We're looking for pain or problems. We're looking for consequences of those pain or problems. We're looking for expectations, and we're looking for ideas or action items, right? So we're looking for those 4 things in this feedback, and we're just seeing how they are and talking about ways we can make this feedback better. So before we were going over a set of feedback that was from a different company. Now we're going over one that's part of the career advice section of Indeed.com. Um, Props to Indeed for putting this up here, and we're going to go through and see how good it actually is. So example one, an employee's performance is lacking. I know this is example one, but this is part 11. All right. Helen is typically a reliable employee, though she seems distracted at work and is turning assignments late. Rather than reprimanding Helen immediately, let her know you've noticed these changes and would like to resolve them. Okay. Um, the one caveat would be in this before we get the feedback is they say rather than reprimanding immediately, which is fine. I don't think you should reprimand, but try and correct things as quickly as you see the problem. The longer it lingers, the harder it is and the more ambiguous your feedback gets. Now let's look at the feedback. Helen, I always appreciate how productive and reliable you are, but I've noticed a change in your performance lately. Turning in assignments late is unlike you. I wanted to check in and discuss any challenges you've been facing and understand how I can better support you. This is great. Really good. First, it pointed out the pain, right? Notice the change in your performance, right? Boom. We know what's wrong. There's pain or problem. Two, turning late assignments is unlike you. That implies the expectation that you should be turning in these assignments well. What we don't see is the consequences of those turned in late assignments. That would be great, is to be like, this has severely delayed the project or whatever. Um, but then the last thing I'd love is this ideas or action item, right? I wanted to check in with you to discuss any challenges you've been facing and understand how I can support you better. I love this part because what it does is it gives an idea of a future meeting, right? To be able to, or maybe this is the start of this meeting, to be able to try and correct these issues, but it puts us on the same team. I'm on the same team with you. I'm going to help you through this process. Feedback is way easier to receive when you feel like we're on the same team and we're moving towards the same goal. Um, this also puts some impetus on us to be able to try and help solve the problem, which honestly might not be just her problem. It may be organizationally, it may be outside of her control, whatever it is. It takes an entirely different tone than it could be if we were to come down and say, Helen, you're not getting your work done, you need to be better. And so this is a really good example of how to handle employees issues where things may not be as good. And jumping to the other side, if you think about how to handle all sorts of issues like this, where you may be getting feedback that is not crazy positive about how well you're working, you can try and sort through it and understand, how can I get people on my team? What things could I do that would help them see the important things that I have to work on and maybe my workload and maybe what's going on? How can I be more transparent? How can I share more of what's happening so we can be more on the same page here? Either way, Indeed started out strong with awesome feedback here. Please check out part 12 as we go over the next section in this wonderful article.